I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
We are live.
Rice TVX, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver gold, he stores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system critical for survival. Rice engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice the Pitbull, breaking the chain. In the arena where truths collide, Rice TVX, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
Make sure you take an opportunity to smash that like button. We are live streaming on my YouTube, Rumble, and X account. Links are down below. Make sure you're subscribed. If you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? And if you are subscribed, as always, make sure you still are subscribed, because I'm going to show you something here in just a minute. YouTube has definitely been unsubscribing a large number of people from the channel, and they've been doing this since forever, but it's getting worse and worse and worse. So here we go with the channel promo, and then we're going to begin today's show. Real quick, before we begin, I want to encourage you, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you are subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed. YouTube, unfortunately, has been unsubscribing a large amount of people over the past few months. So make sure you are still subscribed. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? Also, make sure you are checking out my sponsor, Presearch. I have information in every video description. Presearch is a decentralized private search engine with AI that rewards. All right. Thank you again for tuning in for today's live stream. I greatly appreciate each and every one of you, and I'm going to try to keep this one short and sweet. I have a tattoo appointment that's going to be happening in 2 hours. I need to shower before that and get ready. I'm going to be hopefully finishing up the piece on my chest, the raven that I have gotten over the past few months. So appreciate everybody for taking the time to tune in. Once again, we are live streaming on my YouTube, Rumble, and X accounts, and everything is smooth on all three of those ends. If you happen to watch it on the X, please take an opportunity to repost so we can get some more eyes on this live stream. That would be greatly appreciated. In addition, if you're watching over on Rumble or YouTube, smashing that like button is supposed to help. Now, real quick, before we get into the topic of today's video, one thing I did want to share on screen, and I will hover my mouse over this. This is just in the past 28 days. I have had 102 people unsubscribed from the channel. So the channel is back under 32,000. And the last time I talked about the number, it was 31,990. And my current subscriber count is 31,912. So that's what we got going on the channel. Make sure you're still subscribed, because YouTube has actually unsubscribed some of my other Gmail, Google accounts from the channels that I create. So it's crazy. It is what it is. If you guys are interested in attending Bitcoin 24 in Nashville and Litecoin 24, I'll be doing a video both about Litecoin and Bitcoin 2024 taking place in Nashville, Tennessee. Litecoin is July 24th and 25th, I believe. And then we have the 25th and 27th for Bitcoin. You can get your tickets and support the channel. I'm going to be there. Lots of other people are going to be there. You can meet me, hang out. It's a great time at these events. I've been at the last 3 Bitcoin conferences. I've been at the last 2, maybe 3 Litecoin conferences, and neither disappoint. So if you click on the link that you see here, and I'm trying to navigate back on screen, or you can use the discount code RICE, because ticket prices are going to be going up soon. Ticket prices will be going up. Right now, you can get a festival pass for $549. If you choose to use Bitcoin, you can get 21% off. There's also an industry pass, a whale pass, and after party t-shirt bundle. You can check out all the information, the best values, what you get. But if you're interested in attending and you have not already gotten your tickets, I'll put this in the pinned comment after the live stream. Get your tickets, support Rice Crypto, Rice TVX, and I will see you in Nashville for Litecoin and Bitcoin 2024. Again, thanks to everybody for taking the opportunity to join me on the live stream. I greatly appreciate. Let's see here. Stymie is saying, so long as he's capable of converting oxygen into carbon dioxide, I see nothing preventing a 4th term for Obama. I get what you're saying, my friend. Miska, appreciate you tuning in. I'm glad you're still subscribed. Amy Liz Crypto, thank you for subbing. Thank you for still being subbed. I greatly appreciate it. I'm definitely looking forward to talking with you. I'd like to actually bring you on the channel, highlight what you're doing as a content creator, and then we could talk about some of the things that I had mentioned to you in that private chat about possibly co-hosting on a show together. So I think that would be great. Misko, we definitely got to talk, man, if you're going to be there. If you have not gotten your ticket, again, make sure you're using that link on my X account. It'll be, again, on the pinned comment after this live stream. Brandon the Puppet. And again, thank you, Amy. I greatly appreciate you. So I did a poll about a week ago, maybe a little over a week ago. The poll started, and all that's really kind of irrelevant. It's irrelevant. The whole idea was this. I did a poll to find out what people thought about President Biden during what we call the selection process of 2024. I gave 4 options. We have Biden drops out, Democrats forced Biden out, Biden stays in the race, and Biden passes away. Well, we have 36.3% of the votes that came in out of 124 people that voted. 36.3% say Biden passes away. We have 25.8% saying that the Democrats force Biden out. We have 23.4% of people saying Biden stays in the race. And then 14.5% say Biden drops out. And the reason I did that is because, I don't know, maybe a year ago or so, I started hearing a lot more in regards to people speculating whether or not Biden will pass away, drop out, or be replaced, and who might he be replaced by. I heard everything from Gavin Newsom, Michelle Obama, Hillary Clinton, just to name a few. There's actually been a lot of rhetoric that's been coming out from the mainstream media. I'll share some of those articles here in a minute. And a lot of it really started in the mainstream maybe about a week and a half ago, where it seems as if this is something like as an agenda that's being pushed to ultimately have Biden either drop out or be replaced in the presidential race. And I think that's kind of why they're parading him around like they are. That's why on X, I did a hashtag elderly abuse, because that's exactly what this is, regardless of how you feel necessarily about him as a president. This is an old man that doesn't need to be in the position that he's in and should be able to retire and try to live his life in peace. It's sad watching what's happening with his failing health, mental capacities, and everything else that's going on. So Steve Forbes, he did a piece on YouTube, and I'll go ahead and get that video pulled up. I have a link down below in the video description for that video so that you can check it out. And the video is entitled, Biden will pull out of the 2024 race. This is what happens next. So I'm going to go ahead and play this.
Just how will Joe Biden pull out of the presidential race?
Give me a 5x5 if you can hear what Steve Forbes said. That would be greatly appreciated. Again, take an opportunity to smash that like button. And if you're watching over on the X side, please take an opportunity to repost. And what I can do is just go ahead and mute my end and make sure I can hear it on the television. I'm going to go ahead and start playing since I have not gotten a 5x5 back.
Just how will Joe Biden pull out of the presidential race? Hello, I'm Steve Forbes, and this is What's Ahead, where you get the insights you need to navigate these turbulent times. President Biden's supercharged State of the Union address a few months ago quieted talk among Democrats about forcing him to drop his bid for a second term. But the quieting was only temporary. The continued, painfully obvious mental decline of our commander-in-chief has revived widespread public speculation of his withdrawing. A few observers think that this might be the political equivalent of a head fake, lowering expectations for his upcoming debate performance against Donald Trump. That highly anticipated verbal slugfest is barely 3 weeks away. After all, there are rumblings of pushing Biden out before his Buffalo State of the Union triumph. But the volume this time is more extensive and the tone more anxious. The fact that several Democrats, almost always off the record, are whispering concerns to the media reveals growing worries about this president's fitness to stay the course for this campaign. Hardly anyone believes he can navigate the rigors of a second term. This, of course, leads to basic questions. Will Biden bow out before the June 27 debate with Trump? Unlike his appearances these days, the president won't be aided by teleprompters. His unscripted remarks are routinely and embarrassingly confused and garbled. Would a combination of anger, which might fuel a temporary clarity of mind, extensive rehearsals, and some exotic elixirs enable Biden to complete a 90-minute debate, especially since the likely moderators would be on his side and former President Trump might overplay his hand? Perhaps this is what certain White House aides and the powerful, highly influential First Lady are counting on. It's a high risk, however. A fumbling performance would make a subsequent pullout particularly humiliating. Even if Biden makes it through the June 27 challenge, his continuing decline in public and private meetings will fire up ever-deepening misgivings among voters, knowing a ballot cast for Biden would be a ballot cast for Kamala Harris, sooner rather than later for her to sit in the Oval Office. When Biden steps down, who would replace him and how? He would likely quit the campaign, but not the presidency. Harris would remain vice president. Fevered meetings would follow among Democrats as party leaders would try to orchestrate the anointment of a candidate the way they did in 2020 with Joe Biden to block frontrunner Bernie Sanders. The frontrunner here would be California Governor Gavin Newsom, who's never made secret his lust for the nation's top job. But Democrats may conclude his record makes him too vulnerable and instead would go for an unknown candidate with a cleaner slate, particularly one of their governors, like Josh Shapiro of Pennsylvania, Wesley Moore of Maryland, or Jared Polis of Colorado. A big international financial or military crisis may force Biden out, as he does not have the mental agility to handle such a situation the way John Kennedy did during the Cuban Missile Crisis. Kamala Harris may yet get to sit in the big chair. Either way, Joe Biden will not be the head of the Democratic ticket this November. I'm Steve Forbes. Thanks for listening. Do send in your comments and suggestions, and I look forward to being with you soon again.
Let me go ahead and get this other video pulled up really quickly, and then I'll get back on screen. So bear with me just a moment here as I pause this and recopy this link. Biden spoke at an event the same day that Hunter Biden was. Joseph Biden spoke at a gun event, and we'll see that here in just a second, as the same day that his son was actually being found guilty of his gun charges. During his address at Every Town for Gun Safety's event in Washington, D.C., President Biden repeated false claims he's made before. And so this is another way that they're trying to say that making false claims, making up stuff, that his memory is just going completely to shit, and he needs to either drop out or be replaced, which is the narrative that we're seeing. So we have the presidential, I'll talk about that here in a second.
I used to be a law, when I was no longer the vice president, I became a professor at the University of Pennsylvania. Before that, I taught a constitutional law class, and so I taught the Second Amendment. There's never been a time that says you can own anything you want. You couldn't own a cannon during the Civil War. No, I'm serious. Think about it.
This is like 9 days ago.
This phrase, the blood of liberty, wash of those. Give me a break. No, I mean it, seriously. And by the way, if they want to think to take on government, if we get out of line, which they're talking again about, well, guess what? They need F-15s. They don't need a rifle. Folks, look, this is crazy what we're talking about. Because whether we're Democrats or Republicans, we want our families to be safe. We all want to drop them off at a house of worship, a mall, a movie theater, a school, without worrying it's the last time I'm going to get to see them.
Okay, so one, I appreciate everybody again for taking the time to comment. Silver Soul Awakening, 100%. The organic Biden is already gone. Enjoying the show. It's all staged, actors, manipulation, events, too many for falling. There is no two-party system. I agree. There is no two-party system. That's why we talk about the fact that the right wing and the left wing are all part of the same damn bird. And we have this uniparty thing going on, unfortunately. You are definitely correct. Now, as far as the organic individual being replaced, there is a lot of interesting theories when it comes to that. And I have definitely gone down that rabbit hole. But it doesn't seem to be something that's providing complete concrete evidence for the likes of myself to even take that seriously. We're seeing an old man who in real time is losing mental capacity and his health. And it's very sad. It's like watching your grandfather, whether you like the guy or not, deteriorate. It's just sad to watch those things happen to human beings. If you have a heart or any sort of compassion, I'm not pro Biden in any means, but it seems like they are doing everything they can to get him to look as bad as he possibly can at the most perfect time. So the presidential debates are June 27th. That's like a week away from today. The DNC, the Democratic National Convention, is August 19th through 22nd. I think the RNC is the 11th of July, if I'm not mistaken. And a couple days prior to that is when the sentencing for Donald Trump's the felony charges he was found guilty on. So it's a lot going on. So do you think that Biden, watching this right now in the live chat, let me know. If you're watching on replay, comment down below in the comment section. Do you think that Sleepy Joe Biden is actually going to participate in this upcoming presidential debate with Donald Trump for 90 minutes with no audience on the 27th of June, a week away from today? What do you think? Do you think he'll step out? Do you think that he'll drop out of the race? Will he be forced out of the race? Will he unfortunately pass away? Let me know what you think, because obviously with that Twitter poll, the majority of people said he would pass away. And then it was pretty much split between being forced out or staying in the race. So that's very interesting. Now I'm going to go ahead and pull up a few articles here, so bear with me. And again, these are linked down below in the video description. First article, and this came out on the 8th of June, so that would have been about 12 days ago. And this is from Business Insider, and it talks about 7 Democrats who could replace Biden if he drops his 2024 reelection bid. I'm not going to go into the entirety of this. I wanted to show you the fact that there is articles, there's verbiage, there's things going on. If you search for these things, which we will do like a pre-search search, like a Google search, but on pre-search, and we will search and see what we come up with. President Joe Biden's reelection bid has strong backing of most elected Democrats. He's committed to the race, but there's still public speculation whether he'll stay in the race. And it's unlikely, in the unlikely event that Biden does step away, leaves the race, an array of Democrats would be in the mix to lead the party. The obvious, this is not the obvious one, but and we'll get into this, but Kamala Harris, I don't think anyone really wants to see Kamala Harris as the president of the United States of America. Gavin Newsom seems to be the forerunner, seems to have been set up for this. That's a very, almost looks like a picture of grown-up Forrest Gump Jr. and his dad. And then there's some unknown people that I'm not really super familiar with. I do know who she is. Cory Booker. The next article comes from the Daily Beast. If Biden stepped down, who's next? Who comes next for the Democrats? And this is from the 13th of June, so 7 days ago. A few ideas who might step up to succeed the current occupant of the White House. And they mentioned Gavin Newsom, Philip Murphy of New Jersey, a Michigan governor. They mentioned Kamala Harris, of course. They do actually mention Bernie Sanders, Cory Booker as well. For whatever reason, Pete Buttigieg and Mark Cuban was another interesting one that they added to this list. The next and last article I wanted to share is from the Economist Times, from India Times, and this is, and I've seen this in a couple different areas, but I wanted to show where this is also a narrative on the international stage as well. So 2024 U.S. presidential election, will Joe Biden replace Kamala Harris with Hillary Clinton as his running mate? So there is a lot of talk about the fact that Biden could stay in the race and replace who his running mate for VP is going to be, and not choose Kamala Harris and choose someone like Hillary Clinton or Gavin Newsom. Because if something were to happen to Joe Biden as far as his health deteriorating any worse, his mental capacity, if he gets through and reelected, then whomever is his vice president would assume the presidency upon the exit of Biden, which I don't see Biden, even if reelected. And I say that if because the game is rigged, you guys know what I'm saying. So even if reelected, I don't see him surviving 4 more actual years as president, whether or not he thinks he's capable to get through the debates and actually run and stay in the race when it comes time for November 5th. And that's something else. I find it very interesting that the election day this year happens to fall on November 5th. Remember the 5th of November. And that doesn't come just from V is for Vengeance. That is actually from the gunpowder treason that involved Guy Fawkes. Some people call it the Jesuit treason. You can look this up. It's definitely factual information. And November 5th is the presidential election. And I think that this coming presidential election will bring a new meaning to remember the 5th of November. So I said I was going to do my best to keep this live stream short and sweet. I'm going to be wrapping it up here in just a couple minutes. I do have my tattoo appointment in about an hour and a half. Got to take a shower. Finishing up my chest piece, and I'm definitely not looking forward to it because it is a very painful area. But no pain, no gain. And I'm definitely excited to be getting this part of my tattoo work behind me. So Let me go ahead and see what we got going on in the comment section. Yes, it is definitely a selection cycle, Jenny G. And I'll show you again, like where I stated that, because when I did that poll, I said Biden plus selections 2024, because obviously it's not, they're giving us two people to choose from. That's not an election, that's a selection. So you get to select of the two that they have chosen for you. Jenny is also saying crazy to consider how Kamala's rise to fame and that she might be presidential potential. I think they're listing her just because she is the VP, but I don't believe anyone believes in the right mind or supports Kamala Harris as president. And I'm not even sure she would really actually want to be the president. I could be wrong. Could be wrong. Tara Spence says Biden will fail a drug test, so no debate. He might even die from a meth overdose. Interesting. Stymie, I think the moderator has their hands full. Biden will be there, but it's the moderator's job to debate Trump. Well, yes, well, the moderators are definitely on the side of Biden. So it's going to be interesting. And again, I believe there's no audience. So it's just going to be the moderators, Trump and Biden. And I believe it's 90 minutes. Tara Spence, if Hillary is vice president, Biden will obviously commit self-deletion. I like the way you said that. Self-deletion. That is a good way of putting that. Misko, thinking it's too late in the game to replace Biden as nominee, could replace VP. Looking at key states, Trump seems to be ahead of most of them and now tied in Virginia. Well, the interesting thing about that is a lot of people think that this will take place after the DNC so that they cannot nominate somebody else. So they'll have to replace him. If it's after the fact, they can't then. So it's an interesting scenario. And that's why I say to pay attention, because the DNC is taking place August 19th through 22nd, which is 2 months away. We're at June 20th. So yeah, 2 months away, maybe about 60 days or so away. Misko, 270 to win is my source. Interesting. Well, again, I hope you guys found this video to be interesting, and I hope you found some value out of it. Sometimes, you know, I'm covering things that are outside of the cryptocurrency spectrum, because the things that I cover outside the spectrum do bleed over and have effect on the cryptocurrency and economic, financial markets, stock markets, all of that. All of that is going to be dependent on this election. And I think that people, or selection, excuse me. So it all comes back around full circle. And I cover politics and economics that reflect and have some sort of consequence or effect on the cryptocurrency, blockchain markets, TradFi, economics. And this definitely fits the bill, because cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, is a big narrative in this selection cycle. All three candidates now have spoken about it, whether positive or negative. We've never seen that before in history. So this is going to be really interesting to watch, and the outcome is definitely going to have an effect on the markets. The stock markets seem to have basically priced in the fact that Trump is going to win, and that's positive for the stock market. So we'll see what happens. And usually the stock markets, when they come out with some sort of, what's the word I'm looking for? Backing up a candidate and endorsing that candidate is what I was looking for. Usually the individuals that are endorsed by Wall Street and TradFi are generally the ones who get in, because that's who controls the system, is the banks, the people who control the money. Because controlling the money, they can control you. And if they can't control the money, then they can't control you. And cryptocurrency is the key that you've been given to open your cage. And that is wisdom that John McAfee shared with me in an interview. Open your cage, people. Ultimately, I don't support anybody running for president in the United States. I'm not registered to vote. I don't plan on participating in the reindeer games. Again, right wing, left wing, same damn bird. The system's broke. The game is rigged. We need to change it. And that's just a fact. So I do appreciate everybody for giving me your time today, because time is our most valuable asset. I appreciate you. I always encourage you to be a blessing to others. Treat people how you want to be treated. Be the glitch that you want to see in this matrix. Be the change that you want to see in this world. Know yourself. Question everything. And until next time, make sure you smash that like button, share the video out, repost over on the X side, Make sure you subscribed. Make sure you're still subscribed. Speaking of that, you might enjoy this clip before we ride out. Real quick, before we begin, I want to encourage you, if you are not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you are subscribed. And if you are subscribed, make sure you are still subscribed. YouTube, unfortunately, has been unsubscribing a large amount of people over the past few months. That's YouTube make sure you are still blocking my channel. And if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? We out of here, fam. Riding out.
Rice TVX, the mic's live wire. American Pitbull, real gold buyer. Sound money advocate, rights defender. In the crypto arena, he's the top contender. From the gritty streets of the digital age, Rice lays wisdom, chapter and page. Silver, gold, he scores only the bold. Land, life, and liberty, these values hold. Constitution, deep dive, knowledge revival. Navigate the system, critical for survival. Rights engraved like inscriptions on metal. Pitbull in the game, lead foot on the pedal. Land acquirer, a strategic mind. In the fight for freedom, he's frontline. Educate on rights, the law he'll explain. Chris Rice the Pitbull, breaking the chain. In the arena where truths collide, Rice TVX, the certified guide. Silver and gold, land and rights. American Pitbull in the freedom fights. In a world of chaos, he's the calm in the storm. Teaching the masses, ready to inform. Keys to crypto, rights we cherish. His wisdom like paths that others perish. Guardian of wealth, from digital to ancient. His legacy crafted, fearless and patient.
Much appreciation and much love, and